Hello, Rockets. Today is our first episode of Converse Conversations. I am your host, Dawson Fiedler. Joining me today is Lucas McCurdy.
Hi.
We have Daniel the Mixer. And Quave on the camera guy. Can't be seen. It sucks. Today we're going to be talking about the 2017 Ghost in the Shell and the 2003 Star Wars Clone Wars animated series.
All right. So we're going to talk about the new Ghost in the Shell first.
I have been watching you. You have to remember.
I saw someone down there. He wasn't human.
He's a known terrorist, and he's killed again.
They didn't just kill them. They hacked into their minds.
He's everywhere and nowhere.
I will find him. And I will kill him.
You never talk about your past.
I don't remember much. Just fragments.
There was an attack.
You were dying. We saved you.
And now you save others.
Everything they told you was a lie.
You had a family. Remember that.
It was bad. Didn't like it.
It was bad.
Scarlett Johansson's not even that attractive.
Are we allowed to even mention that?
I can.
Oh, no.
She's never going to see this.
We can have hopes. We're gonna go big.
I mean, it's never going to happen. And I can voice my opinions.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, it's not even a very good movie. They kept their human brain in this one.
You were dying. We saved you.
And now you save others.
The original one, she had a cyber brain.
Well, I'm even surprised at how much they didn't make as much money as they probably thought that they were going to make off the movie.
Yeah, because it's bad.
Yes, Lucas, we know it's bad.
It's bad. I didn't like it.
No, I don't think a lot of people liked it.
Didn't have enough.
I think it had a bad review rating.
Didn't have enough invisibility.
The invisibility thing. People will catch on to that. Those who
didn't have enough of it. Didn't have enough fighting. I didn't think it had enough fighting.
Well, I thought the backstory for it was terrible, anyways. In general,
that guy Batu, however you say it, as the character that she's friends with. He was way cooler in the original. Wasn't cool in the live action one at all.
I thought he was a pretty cool guy in the show.
He got his eyes singed off.
I mean, then he got the cool glasses to go with it.
Yeah, well, he had those in the original already.
Did he already have his eyeballs too? Regular eyeballs?
Nope.
No, he just had the robotic ones?
Yep.
Well, this gave him a bit of a backstory.
Yeah, he didn't get hurt in the original. He was way cooler, and he was also a lot buffer.
Because that matters.
Yeah.
It does not. It's a cartoon.
Yeah. And he was also cooler in the cartoon.
Who did you expect to play him in, like, the movie?
Someone buffer.
That's not what happens, Lucas. It's not how it works.
The original Ghost in the Shell was directed by Mamoru Oshii. Who was the 2017 one directed by?
The Rupert Sanders.
Well, there's your problem there.
Well, of course it's a problem. It was made by a bunch of Americans.
I mean, I don't know. That's a problem.
It is a problem. Anytime we try to do anything Japanese, we screw it over.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of something we didn't.
See, exactly. That's what I thought.
I was hoping I could think of something.
There is nothing that we've done good. We've done everything terrible.
It was pretty good. I mean, the original was good. And I say it was the reason it was good. All right, I'm going to tell you some of the reasons that it was good. It was like, it's kind of like, I mean, it's good to me. I don't know if it's people that don't like sci-fi probably wouldn't like it, but I always think, whenever I'm watching anything sci-fi, I always think, oh man, be cool to have a bionic arm. You think you'd get a bionic arm?
I mean, it sounds pretty cool to me.
I mean, I'd trade a bionic arm for my regular arm any day. Any day. I mean, you could beat anyone at arm wrestling. Be awesome.
I mean, as long as your bionic arm isn't made out of a trashy metal.
What? Like you're going to get a bionic arm made out of aluminum foil?
You never know.
I mean, like, how are you going to do that?
I mean, if you're broke, you're gonna have to.
I mean, if you're
to
broke,
do
you're not getting a bionic arm in the first place.
Cuts.
Oh,
But
man.
you know, in the original, right? A little bit of This is spoilers, by the way. If you haven't seen the 2017 one, right, you
probably
should.
shouldn't watch it.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't watch it because it's not very good. You should You should see the original somewhere. But if you haven't seen the 2017 one and are planning on seeing it, then don't listen to this because I'm about to spoil most of it. I say most of it, some of it. I don't know how much most is. But all right. So, in the original one, the terrorist that they're after, like the bad guy, he's like an AI that was created by Section 6. And in the newer one, they get at the beginning they got kidnapped and she got turned into the robot body.
In the new one, they were kidnapping people and trying to do test subjects on the new model of their shells, and he was one of the failed experiments. So that's why he became a bad guy. It was because he was trying to hunt him down.
It didn't really make much sense to me.
Well, of course, it doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, in the original, right? He was a AI that got created by Section 6. And he became sentient and then said, well, I want to be able, I want a body and everything. And he went and hacked into some stuff and started making a body for himself. But in the new one, they never explained where he got that body.
I think he already had that one.
So they just threw it away?
I don't
know
Not
about
that
you.
he didn't
Those
get
bodies
thrown
seem
away.
pretty
It was
expensive.
just damaged. Because you have to remember, in the new one, he was also fighting against them because they tried giving him this medicine to keep him in line, and that wasn't going to fly with him. He knew what was going on, so...
Well, I mean, I remember he said that that they failed and they just threw him away after they couldn't give him any medicine or anything because the shell just didn't work.
Well, if the shell didn't... Oh, well, no, that's right.
That's what they said. And then it doesn't explain how he got that body. It's plot holes in that movie.
Yeah.
There's none of them in the old
It
one.
doesn't also explain how he was able to get his way into the inner network of everyone else, because he was also hacking into other people.
Well, in the original one, they hack into other people because they have cyber brains, right? But it doesn't make sense. Now that you bring it up, it doesn't make sense in the new one because they have normal brains that are augmented. And in the old one, they had cyber brains, right? So they weren't normal at all. They just transferred the ghost, which is the consciousness of the person, into that one, right? But in the new one, he was just hacking into normal people's normal brains.
No, he was able to hack into anyone who had some sort of bionic part.
Yeah, it didn't
on
make
them.
any sense. Didn't make any sense to me. I mean, why would your bionic eyes need to be connected to the internet? If I were them, I wouldn't connect them to the internet. I mean, it doesn't make much sense to me, but
I mean, I didn't make this movie.
You sure?
I'm positive. I mean, it was a bunch of Americans, but that doesn't...
You're an
I'm
American.
Sure you can
Hey,
make it
hey.
yourself in a couple of minutes.
Couple of minutes?
Yeah, a camera and
Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson. You could probably make it in probably 15 minutes.
An
15
action
minutes.
figure, maybe.
Yeah.
The movie was 2 hours long, 15 minutes.
It was, and it was also made by a couple of companies. One of the ones who Americanized it was DreamWorks, but the original one was I think it was a China company, if I remember correctly.
Man. But, okay, so here's my recommendation. If you want to see the original Ghost in the Shell, don't see the one from 1995 unless you, care enough and to see both movies that I'm about to say. So, if you want to see the original one, watch the 2.0 re-release from 2008. Because that one, it has a little bit better animation. It has a little bit of CG in it, a little bit of 3D CG. It's pretty good. It's the exact same story and everything as the first one, just a bit better animation and everything. So if it's the same thing as seeing the 1995 one, except without the 1995 animation. So I enjoyed it. was a good one. But new one bad. Don't see new one.
All right, then we move on to our next segment then of the 2003 Star Wars Clone Wars animated series.
Yeah, this is real important to me, the 2003 Star Wars, because nobody knows about this one. And whenever you say Star Wars: The Clone Wars, everybody thinks of that 3D one that they made.
That one sucked.
That one's terrible. I hate that one.
Everyone hates that one.
Everyone hates that because they started it out with that weird movie. It's terrible. But the Star Wars Clone Wars, whenever I talk about Star Wars Clone Wars, you'll know I'm talking about the 2003 TV series. That one was amazing, right? Made by the same guy who made Samurai Jack. What's his name? Genndy Tartakovsky, is that it?
Well, he had a major hand in a lot of the original stuff that came out. It wasn't just Samurai Jack. It was also Dexter Laboratory, and he also helped in the Powerpuff Girls.
If you like Samurai Jack, 2003 Star Wars Clone Wars, pretty much the same thing. It's real good. Mace Windu destroys an entire droid army without a lightsaber. I mean, it's like 2 hours long, 2 hours and 12 minutes, I think. I know exactly how long. It's 2 hours and 12 minutes.
Well, it's that they also used it to bridge the gap between 2 and 3, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was and they explained how General Grievous got his cough. They explained that because Mace Windu crushed his chest.
Yeah, you damaged him.
Because at the end, Mace Windu crushes his chest. Spoilers.
Jeez.
Yeah, spoilers.
It's just a long spoiler. For
well, yeah, I'm spoiling things from 2003 and 1995. It's not like anybody really cares.
Of course not. What are our viewers? Teenagers. They don't care.
Snape kills Dumbledore. You go. If you care about that now, there you go. I've spoiled that for you. Anything else you want to spoil while we're here? Anything that's old that no one cares about anymore?
I mean, Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father.
Oh man, great. You spoiled it for me. I didn't see that. I was planning on seeing those.
You mad, Dan?
I was gonna watch that this weekend. In case you didn't know,
I was finally gonna watch it.
I had them all lined up. I was gonna watch each one at a time, and you just spoiled it.
Dan had all the DVDs. He waited. He bought them all. Every one of them. He had them on VHS. He got a working VHS player. All right, but back to 2003. It was amazing.
2003 was an amazing.
There's a guy that never shows up again. He's like the
tentacle dude.
No,
right?
Tortellini guy.
Tortellini. It's Tortellini.
He's like a Tortellini. You'll know him if you watch this. You'll know him when you see him. Obi-Wan fights Tortellini Man.
It's probably like the best fight for Obi-Wan too.
Nobody's watched it, so they don't know who Tortellini guy is.
You'll know who Tortellini guy is if you see it. If you've seen it, you know. Obi-Wan fights him, and he can like regenerate, and then he never shows up ever again, even though they say that he's gonna show up again by like having him crawl off screen. Never shows up ever again. Obi-Wan beats him, by the way. Spoilers.
This is why they made, episodes 8 and 9. They're going to bring him back.
They're not going to bring him back. They're not going to bring back
Disney's
deep
doing.
lore Tortellini guy.
Disney's actually like having Tortellini guy come to the real screen, and what's it? What are we at? Number 8 now? Number 11? I
thought
know.
it was. Is it 8?
I think it's.
Yeah,
8.
we're on 8 now.
Right.
It's the last
almost
Jedi.
like a TV series
Unless you
now.
count Rogue One. Of course, I've never seen Rogue One.
Rogue One was between 3 and 4, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Okay. Yeah.
It's where everyone basically dies.
It was another cash grab from Disney.
Well, I mean, everything's a
Maybe
cash
something.
grab from Disney. They have your childhood held hostage.
They are the gods of the TV network at this point. They
don't
own
own-
ABC. They own everything.
Don't think they own Popeye the Sailor Man, though, so you can't get my childhood Disney.
They're probably gonna get it sooner or later.
Good luck. But back to back to 2003 again. I'm trying to stay on the 2003. I mean, it was real good. I mean, you know, you can buy it on DVD. You can buy, yeah. I remember you can buy it on DVD for what's it? You can probably buy it nowadays. I mean, I bought it years and years ago. I had it on a shelf for a long time.
I mean, it's probably cheap right
I
now.
watched it over and over again. It was amazing. You could, you know, it's timeless, really. You know, it's like Samurai Jack. I don't know how many people have watched Samurai Jack because it only came on real late at night.
Weren't they redoing Samurai Jack as well?
They redid
They
it on
they didn't
Adult Swim.
redo it. They didn't redo it.
Well,
they
continued
they
the
added
story.
another they finished the story, actually. The story's over now. So if you didn't know that, you could watch the new Samurai Jack too. That's on a what's it? Is that one girl? She did it. Look, you know.
You better not spoil Samurai Jack.
What, the new one?
Yeah, the new one.
I'm gonna spoil the
wrong
old
with
one. He
spoiling
kills a
the
lot of
new
those robot bugs.
Yeah, and then
Remember in the first couple episodes, robot bugs? He fights a bunch of them for those dog people when he gets thrown into the future by a coup.
That was like the greatest.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was the greatest, and it's just like, you know what? That scene, if you like that scene, it's just like the Mace Windu fight in Star Wars 2003. It really is. The more that I think about it, he fights all those bugs with his sword. Mace Windu fights all those bugs. Well, not bugs. He fights all them super battle droids without a sword, with his fists. And he beats them all up. Then he slides and he uses the Force.
They really need that more in the movies.
They're way cool. Like, all of the Jedi are way, way cooler in the animated series than they are in, and not the 3D one, the 2003 one. I need to clarify that because if you look up Star Wars Clone Wars, put 2003 after it because it's the better one.
Well, actually, for the new one, they had to label it Star Wars: The Clone Wars for the 3D animation one.
So they just put the?
Yep.
The difference is the?
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
You even
It
look
is.
up Star Wars Clone Wars, you still get the 3D one.
Put 2003.
I mean, you put 2003 and it changes it.
Well, obviously, because that one's not from 2003, Dawson,
Of course
the new
not,
one.
But it's supposed to, like, here, let me show you what I'm talking about.
No, I don't care what you're talking
You
about.
never care anyways.
I've seen it. I know everything about Star Wars 2003. Padme's in there. Anakin's in there with his bionic arm. It's not bionic. He's in there with his. He gets lines drawn on him by bugs at the end, and he has to go and fight the robots, the normal battle droids instead of the super battle droids.
Yeah, it's bionic.
It is a bionic arm. The cameraman back there, he's saying he was asking if it was bionic. It is in fact a bionic arm. Well, I think so anyway. Probably.
Because then Luke gets the same one after he gets his hand cut off.
Oh yeah, they both got their hands cut off.
What was even more interesting was that Anakin had more of his arm cut off, I think, if I remember.
Yeah, he did. It was like all the way to here.
Yeah. Sucks to be him.
And then he saved that whole race of people. And Ventress is in the 2003 one.
Yeah, she's in there. She didn't last for long.
She gets beat up by Anakin.
No, she gets killed.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, she does.
Does she?
I could have swore he killed her.
I don't think he did.
Yeah.
No, because she shows up in the 3D one.
Knocked her. Because the 3D one's completely different. They're two different entities.
No, she didn't die on screen. That means she's not dead.
He knocked her off of a cliff into a bottomless abyss.
Yeah, Mace Windu got blown up by like a giant stomper machine. If you know what I'm talking, there's a giant stomper machine that Mace Windu blows up with his lightsaber. It's amazing. Just go see that one. Think we're running low on time here. How much time I got? Talk about it.
You got almost got 10 minutes, bro.
I got 10 minutes? All right, I can spend another 10 minutes talking about Star Wars Clone Wars 2003. That's amazing. All right.
Do we have any other topics?
Well, we got Ghost in the
Besides
Shell.
those two?
Well, there's always the
we got,
the
we got
retro
Ghost.
talk.
This is the retro talk. I mean, you want to talk about something even more retro? Could talk about Boglins.
Over here, I'm a Boglin. Me and my buddies need a place to hide out. Come a little closer. Oh, did I scare you? Oh, I do that so well. If you take us home, we'll kiss your Aunt Martha. We'll eat your peas. And we hope you know lots of girls. Hey, the name's Boglins. Each sold separately, and we're looking for good homes. Maybe yours.
All right, let's talk about Boglins.
I've been
So-
lost this entire time.
All right.
He hasn't
Yeah,
even
you
got a
have. You
laugh
don't
track
remember
ready. He's
Boglins.
just sitting there
Oh,
listening.
of course, Boglins were before my time, so I don't remember much about Boglins anyway. But they had 3 different sizes of Boglins, if I remember correctly. They got small Boglins, mini Boglins. No, the mini Boglins and small Boglins, it's the same thing. Okay, it's mini Boglins. They're real tiny. Like if you're listening to this, put your thumb to your index finger. That's about as big as a mini Boglin is. Okay. And then there's normal size Boglins. Normal ones you could fit your hand in there. You could move around the eyes with your fingers, and they were weird. The more I think about it, they were weird. And then there was the giant Boglins. You pretty much did the same thing you did with the normal Boglins in them. You know, put your hand in there, and they were real weird. They came in like jail cages.
Did they have like a TV ad?
Yeah, they had a TV ad. They said,
Oh,
"Hi,
yeah,
we're
I
the
remember.
Boglins, and we need a place to stay."
Yeah, I remember those now. It was a real weird ad.
Yeah, I mean,
It scared me.
I don't think you do remember it because it's from like the 80s,
Do I?
the late 80s,
Oh, I think
I
they
do.
were doing something.
late
recently.
80s, early 90s.
I don't know.
They're never gonna bring the Boglins back.
You never know.
I know they're not.
They brought Star Wars back.
Yeah, because Disney bought it. Because they hold your childhood hostage.
I mean, they
Disney
might
gonna
just
buy
buy
the
the
Boglins?
Boglins.
They're not gonna bring what? They're gonna make a Boglin cinematic universe.
Hey, you never know, man.
I mean,
You never know.
it's gonna join the Justice League,
No, they're gonna join Marvel.
huh?
They're gonna be in the next Avengers movie.
Which one does Disney own?
Marvel.
They own Marvel.
They own Marvel.
They tried trying to get DC.
Well, they're gonna add the Boglins in there.
They were approached, and the DC people said no.
I wouldn't be surprised if Boglins were in there. I mean, Boglins were real weird. I mean, you could collect the Boglins.
They still haven't been collected today. They brought them back. 2017 Toy Fair.
Oh man, they brought them back.
Yep.
I'm not buying any.
You should buy it.
I'm not gonna buy any. How expensive are they? All right, I might buy one.
Okay, so this one that they have showed here is for $100.
$100.
I'm not spending $100 on Boglins.
Well, here you have to keep this in mind. Is
Is it vintage? If it's vintage, it might be worth it.
It's a six
Is it
foot
vintage?
and a half tall thing.
6 foot.
Yep.
That's real tall.
That's a human.
If I'm reading this right.
That's like me. That's the size of me.
That's a real life creature at that point.
I mean, am I reading that right, Dad? 6 feet tall in there. You see that? You see it?
Yeah, I think so.
That's 6 feet, right?
Let me see that. 6 feet?
Is it 2 dashes? I can't read through these shades.
6.5 feet. And 10 inches long. No, wait.
I think it's inches.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, it's inches.
This is 6.5.
Yeah,
This is
it's
6.5 inches.
I couldn't tell.
It's 6.5 inches long, 10 inches tall. 6 feet. It's 6 feet tall. Do you realize how tall 6 feet is? That thing takes up your whole living room.
It takes up half your room.
If you were reading that right, it would have been 6 feet tall, 10 feet long. There's like a whole sofa.
It shows up in the box, looks like a casket.
Please, they wouldn't come in a box. They'd bring a whole moving truck to take that thing to you.
It shows up in a taxi and crawls out.
God, it better for $100. $100. I'm not paying $100
Oh,
for
wait.
a Boglin.
It's already over, though.
Well, obviously, people bought them all up.
Was it an eBay thing or what was
No, it was February 17th of 2017.
Jeez.
And it was available at noon for Eastern Time Central.
I mean, it's...
Man, once time.
And I
machines
missed
come
my
back-
window. I missed my window for buying the 6 foot tall goblin.
Everything's being
Boglin.
ruined for me today. You know, I was gonna buy that Boglin. Apparently, that's over. You guys spoiled Star Wars for me.
I spoiled Harry Potter
My
for
entire weekend. just got
everyone.
ruined.
I spoiled Ghost in the Shell. Both of them. Actually, all three, because I spoiled 3 movies just now.
You could spoil every movie if you wanted to.
You know what? Next podcast, I'm going to talk about the next movie in the Ghost of the Shell series.
No, we're not.
I'm bringing it up.
No,
No.
we're not.
I'm going to bring it up.
No, we're not.
I'm going to watch it
We're gonna-
every night until
We're
the
gonna
next
bring
podcast.
up the thing that we were supposed to talk about this podcast, but we blew Mr. B off. You
Huh?
know? It.
You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too.
Oh, no, I don't want to talk about it.
I want to talk about it.
Let's talk about it,
Yeah,
Dan.
let's talk about it.
Well, you
All
two
right,
can
here
talk
it
about
goes.
it.
Because personally, I think it was overhyped.
It was overhyped.
Oh,
It was
personally,
trashy.
huh?
It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great.
No, it was horrible.
It was like almost every scary movie to date. They just overused the jump scare.
Stephen King's movies never translate well.
Well, I thought the original It was better than this one. It translated better than the new one.
Well, I mean, but would you
Have you
say
seen
it
the
was
original?
No, but would you say it was good?
The original?
Yes.
Yeah, it was good for what it was.
Was it as good as Star Wars: The Clone Wars, 2003?
Those are two completely different genres.
They're both like
No. No. One is sci-fi.
there's a child in both of them.
One is a horror movie.
Yeah, but there's a child in both of them.
They're
That
made
kid
at
gives
two
Mace
different
Windu
time
water.
Frames. One's a cartoon. One is live action.
Are we still talking about it, or are we talking about Star Wars?
We're talking about both at the same time here.
Star Wars.
Okay. But it didn't have a cartoon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't have a cartoon.
Hey Dawson. So, we're starting to run low on time here. Let's start finishing up our points.
Jeez, time really did go by.
Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
Not whenever you're spoiling a bunch of movies for
Shut up,
everybody.
Dan. No one asked
You want me to spoil it? They don't die.
Well, yeah, if they watched the first one, they would know that. It's a remake.
Georgie
Well, yeah,
dies.
the first one's from what, 1990?
You spoiled the whole first 2 minutes.
The first one's
Georgie
from what,
dies.
1990? You think people in this school or anyone who's listening to this podcast have seen, the original It?
No one's listening to this.
No, I think most
We know
people. I think
I'll
most,
listen to it.
I
I know
think
you
most
will.
people watch the
You're paid
original
to.
It to watch the
I'm
new
not paid
It.
to do anything.
It came out way too late for us to just casually watch it on TV.
Exactly.
And
So
then-
none of us have seen the original, except for you, except for Dawson. All right. So Dawson, if you are walking through the hallway, you see Dawson, ask him about the original It. He'll tell you about it.
What?
That's your homework. Ask Dawson about it. The original.
You're
Make sure
lucky
you
we have to
specify
keep
the
this
original.
clean.
And when you're there, if you see me, ask me about Star Wars 2003.
Don't ask
I'll be
him
glad to
anything.
tell you all
Don't
about
even
it.
acknowledge
Don't.
him.
I'll be glad to tell you about 2003 Star Wars.
He goes on rants.
Don't
I also Danny Phantom's pretty good.
No,
all right.
Keep every. Stop.
All right.
no.
Yeah.
Christ.
So
Please
I want to ask me about those two things. We're good.
no.
All right. Bye.
Please no.
I think you know what?
All right. This was our first episode of Converse Conversations.